Welcome everyone to Weekend Escapades. Today we're headed to Boulder City, but before we get there, we thought we'd stop and take and look at Lake Mead and see what's going on, as there is a drought and the water's going down. So when we pulled up on the lake, we're headed down the road, you could really see it. As we've been here before, you can see the lines in the, of course, the raises in the middle of the lake, and around the edge of the lake, you can even see them on the drive in. And that was a little bit disturbing to see how low it's going. Lake Mead is so low now that it is 150 feet away from Deadpool, which means that the reservoir is so low that it cannot flow downstream from the dam. It will take a little bit to get to this level, but I guess we'll have to see if that's going to happen. But it could take a few years, but it's still a little concerning. The hydropower is even in jeopardy at this point if it gets much lower, but we'll have to see what happens here in the near future. 1,044 feet is where it is at now. If it goes below the 895 foot level, that is the Deadpool level. Again, it could take a few years, but a little concerning at the same time. This would be an enormous consequence for millions of people in Arizona, California, Nevada, and parts of Mexico, as all of those locations get their water from here. And a lot of people have seen some photos that are very similar to these, but this is what's happening, and these are the things that are being uncovered as the water level goes down. This one here was just barely sticking out of the water a month ago, and look at it now. I was told that this is dropping between 8 and 9 inches per day. That's quite a significant drop, so let's just hope that they're figuring out some ways right now to get water there and find more water to be able to get in this area. So onwards down the historic downtown Boulder City. This is an amazing town. If you've ever been here, if you've ever seen it, it almost reminds me of like Palm Desert or Palm Springs area. The restaurants and locations here, there's a lot of breweries. But we had to stop for lunch, and we went by Old Big T's Cantina. And this is an amazing location. The tacos and the food that they have here were great, and the atmosphere is fantastic as well. So this is a regular stop for us when we get into Boulder City, as we just love the location. All the misters are on, as again today is extremely hot, and I think it got up to right about 104 while we were here. So we went on down the street and we're walking. You can see here there's a candy shop. Of course, we had to stop in there and get some stuff. And one of the things I like to see is many of the locations we go to where they have a lot of tourists is one of these Zoltars. And this one was in great condition and working.
I am Zoltar, the great gypsy, and I can see your fortune.
You gotta love Zoltar. No? They also have another one that's down here. You'll see right past the end of this coffee shop, which I found kind of fascinating, but they changed it to the Big Kahuna and dressed him up in Hawaiian garb. There it is. And this is right out in front of the Coffee Cup Cafe. Love that old sign. Again, it looks like some kind of neon you'd see off Route 66. And the streets are lined with sculptures. Look at that Harley there. But hey, look at this Harley right here. That's the real deal. What a beautiful bike that is. This sculpture is awesome. This guy's having a bad day. He's fighting off a bear that stepped in a bear trap with his frying pan. And at the same time, it looks like he fell off his horse. And this giant sculpture here represents the puddlers. The puddlers rode buckets of cement and dumped the cement in the forms of the dam to build it up. And they would spread it around with their shovels and make sure there was no air bubbles in that cement. It is said, or the legend says, that they were stuck in the dam. A few of them are buried there. But again, that's just a legend, and who knows, maybe some of that is true. Well, we sure hope that somehow this drought comes to an end and that there's more water in Lake Mead, because it's sure looking dried out to us. We're going to come back in a little bit and document this in a couple weeks and see how it's going. But right now, we've got to head down the road and get on our next adventure. So we're going to see you in the next one. Goodbye from Weekend Escapades, and here we go, down the road.